Hi, I'm Bree with Itty Bitty Berry, and I'm so glad you're here today, whether you're coming back from a previous video or you're new here. So welcome. Today I'm just kind of going over the things I've made over the last few weeks. I am preparing for a fairy festival, so a lot of these things are going to be like whimsical, magical, mythical type things. There's a few like just regular things because I like to keep my stock at the stores that I sell at updated. So some stuff I've made I don't have anymore because it's already went to the store, and some of it is about to go to the store. So let's start with more of the more normal items. So I just dropped that. I've got this little penguin. This is a different pattern than what I usually use. It doesn't have as much shape as the one I usually use, but the eyes are more even. The one that I usually use, the eyes never line up right, so he's got a fluff. So that's the penguin, and all the patterns will be linked down below for you. Next, we have this little Psyduck. He's so cute and round. His little tail. This is a pattern by Poggy's Place, and the same pattern I use for my Perry the Platypus. So this guy right here. I haven't weaved in the end yet, but there's our little Perry. And then I have like a little $5 section at the shop, so I do like really tiny little items for that because, you know, they take a fee and I have the rent and stuff like that. So I've got tiny little bee. I've got a tiny chick. I've got a tiny little turtle. This is my pattern and I haven't released it, so this pattern will not be linked down below. And let's see, and then this tiny frog is a little $5 item. I also have a possum, like car hanger. I haven't done the eyes yet, but little possum car hanger. And I think that's it. The rest is stuff that is going to the event. So it's a fairy festival. So they're going to do like face painting for the kids, a tea party. Tinkerbell's going to be there. I think there's a fairy parade. So there's all kinds of really fun stuff for the kids, and they have vendors and stuff. So I made, at markets, I sell these for $5. At my vendor stores, I think I sell them for like $7, but at the markets I sell them for $5. So I made a bunch of these little chicks with the frog hat because I thought like these are kind of like the fairy vibes, and since I only sell them for $5, they usually sell really well because they're cute and the parents can be like, okay, just pick one of those. So we've got the frog hat guy. I've got the little mushroom guy. Why does he look so crooked? I don't know there. Little mushroom guy. And then I modded it a little bit to do like a bunny hat for spring, so that I have 3 different hats. I try not to do hats that are too detailed because then it makes them take more time and then they're worth more than $5, and I like to keep those around the $5 mark. Next, I have a bunch of these little squishy frogs. I was trying different stress balls, so I had to mod the pattern a few different times, and so I ended up with 3 different frogs. So let me see which one is the original. I think this is the original pattern. So it calls for like this really tiny stress ball, so I had to stuff it, but So then I was like, okay, well, let's use the little lacromi frog, the little $5 frog that I had. This is the same pattern, and I think I just added a row to fit the tiny squish ball better. And then I had a giant squish ball, so I took the same frog pattern and just added some more rows so that I could use the bigger squish ball. But I think out of all 3 of these, I like this little one the best. I think this one's the cutest. So I have some of those. I don't know if I'm going to make more of those or not. Oh, here's a couple that are not necessarily whimsical. I just like to have them in stock for either the store or markets. But a Demigorgon, because these sell really well, so he's not really magical. I mean, he's a mythical creature, I guess. And then I have a no face but I haven't done the little embroidery or the felt yet. I haven't done that part yet. Oops. Some more little items was I tried out this free pattern on Instagram, and it's a little cupcake and a cake. They're super cute. I was really hoping that I could make these $5 items, but they take me a little bit longer. The pattern creator said they take her 15 minutes. These took me about 20-25 minutes because I am a slower crocheter after having wrist pain, so that kind of affected how fast I crochet. Hopefully over the year or so I can get back to the speed that I used to be, but right now I'm a little bit slower. So remember, take care of your wrists. Stop and stretch, or you will regret it later. Next, I decided I want to work with Feels Like Bliss. I decided that I wanted to do that. So I found a free mod on Oak and Marlowe's page for their Mabel chicken to turn it into a little goose. I don't know why his one wing flips up and the one's down, but it's like he's waving. It's kind of cute. But I just made this little fuzzy goose, and I decided to put him on a keychain because he's kind of tiny, like, you know, like a bag charm. Since this yarn is hard to work with and it's expensive, I think I'm going to charge $17 or $18 for him. And I know like a lot of people are going to be like, that's a lot for a keychain. But if people can pay $50 for a Labubu, they can pay $18 for a handmade little goosey. So next, I made this pattern. So this is a little mushy guy, but he's not your usual mushy guy. He is a little like stress ball guy. This one I just used stuffing in because that's what the pattern calls for. Now I really like this pattern. It only takes me like a little under an hour to do. I tried doing it without this inner part to cut down on time, but it just doesn't work as well, so you do have to do the inner part. But it still doesn't take that long, and because all the stitches are puff stitches. A couple of these I accidentally made baubles out of habit, so you can kind of see some of them are giant. But these little puff stitches, I think that was a great way to do the spots so that you don't have to embroider them later. So that was the first one that I just used stuffing on. And then I did two with, I had another pack of stress balls. And these ones are like, I don't know, they weren't like the ones with the little Orbeez in them. They were like, they almost had like clay inside or like Play-Doh or something. And so those don't work for the little squishy things. So I put them inside these. Oh, I didn't even show you the mushroom. Whoops. This one's a blue one. So I made a little blue one. But it has, you can see this one's a little bit more, and you can feel it in there. So this one's more like a squishy than just the stuffed. I like having the squishy in there better than the stuffing. I think it makes it more like of a stress ball and more interactive. So I think when I display them at the market, I might have a couple like this, and then I'll have one with it like taken out so people can see like what they do. And I have one more of these guys. He's hiding somewhere. Oh, here it is. This one is a pink one, and it has the stress ball inside as well. Some of these you have to kind of push it back in there, but I think they're really cute and really fun, so I'm really hoping they sell because I think they're fun. I don't know if I'm going to make more than 3 or not. I always have problems deciding what to make more of because I'm always nervous like to make a bunch of them and then them not sell. So next I have some dragons because I'm like, oh, those would be mythical, magical, even though it's a fairy festival. I have this little rainbow guy, and this is a pattern by the Celestial Homebody. So this is the rainbow one, and then I made this really cute pastel one. I love this one. This one's so cute. I think a little girl is just gonna love this. It reminds me of like those mini marshmallows, you know, those little mini marshmallows. That's what this looks like to me. Then I have, this is a pattern by Wonder Crochet, and this is her mini pixie pattern. So I made this, and she has little blush and eyelashes, and she has a super fluffy skirt. I modded the pattern just a little bit. This is one of the skirts that she has in the pattern, but instead of like skipping a stitch in between each one, I slip stitched back in the same stitch. So she has like a very fluffy skirt in her little ponytail. And then I made 2 of them because I was hoping I could sell them for like $10, but I think I'm gonna have to sell them for $15. So I don't know if I'll make more or not, because I don't know if parents will think they're worth $15. This is the other one that I made. She has this very bright and colorful dress. Look, she's waving at you. Where's her arm? There it is. She says, like and subscribe. And her little curls in the back. I did the long hair. And she has little blue shoes. She doesn't have blush on. I have like a darker blush that I'm thinking about putting on her. So, but she doesn't have the blush yet. Next, I modded a cow pattern just a little bit to give him some mushroom horns. That was a difference that I did. And then I just embroidered these little moss spots with some yarn. And then I added some wings in the back. So this is like a little mushroom forest fairy cow. He's very tiny. This pattern is pretty quick. It's meant to be quick. That's how it's advertised. So it is pretty quick, but it took me a lot longer because I was trying to make the horns and the wings and the moss. And then I did some hand painted eyes for this little guy. But I'm hoping this one finds a home, because I think I'm going to sell this one for like 20 or 30, because it did take me a while to like figure out all the adjustments that I wanted. Next we have a couple frogs, because I don't know, when I think fairies, I think of like frogs are like mythical. Like usually if you have like a dress with like fairies on it, usually there's like frogs or raccoons or deer on them. So I made some frogs. This one is a free pattern on Instagram. It's this little fairy frog. Look how cute he is. The wings are cute. The hat is cute. I gave him a derpy face. Like, he looks like the fairy of fun. Like, straight up, you about to have a good time. He's gonna make sure he's the life of the party. I changed the arms. I made the baubles. She has like arms that you crochet in, I think. But I didn't want to add the arms, so I'm like, I'm just gonna do little baubles. And I think he still looks fine with the baubles. This little party frog. He looks like he doesn't know that many magical spells. He looks like he literally just knows how to throw confetti. That's all he does. He just says, whee! And it's a good time. Next of mythical frogs, I've got a wizard frog. A little wizard frog, and he has a little star in his hat. I'm debating on giving him a mouth. I don't know. He just looks like he's hiding in his cape. The pattern looks so much cuter every time I make this. Like, I swear the pattern has more rows in the frog body than what's written, because my eyes are like right where the cape is, and hers is not that way. So, but I think he's still kind of cute. He might go to the right person, you know. And then I have a couple more items. So I have one really big item, but before we get to the big one, this is a free pattern on Instagram that I just modded. This is the original. This is by Sweet Beans Crochet. She just makes like a mini version, so the wand part is a lot shorter. I just made it longer. And then instead of, I think she crochets a little heart in the middle, I just did a little gem. So I think these would be really cute for little girls at a fairy festival. They're really quick and easy to make. I think these take me like 15 minutes to make. And then there's like only a tiny bit of stuffing in here. So these are a pretty like easy, cheap item. I think I'm going to sell them for like $7. So I made the moon, and then I modded it a little bit to have a star on this one. And then this last one, I wish I did differently, because like the star, I made one star, a second star, and then I crocheted them together. And for some reason, I didn't do that with the heart. So here's my heart one. For some reason, I didn't make 2 hearts and crochet them together, and it's like floppy. So I'm probably going to make this one again and crochet another heart and then crochet them together so that it's a little bit more sturdy. Because like the moon's sturdy, the star is sturdy, and then this heart is like floppy. So those are the little wands. I think these are like so cute. Ooh, you magically want to subscribe and like this video. Did it work? I hope it did. Okay, and last but not least, I made a big dragon by Mom Stitchetti, and I made like a forest, mushroom forest one, kind of the same thing, same theme as the cat. So here he is. Look at those eyes. We painted the eyes. We have the mushrooms. I did not use her. I just used her regular dragon pattern because I bought it before she came out with the mods. So I didn't want to pay another $5-6 just for the mods. So I just kind of made up the mushrooms. And then I just embroidered moss in random spots. Like this little wing has some moss on it. I wish the wings stood up better. One of them, this one stands up really good. And then this one doesn't. This one just flops over. I don't know what I did differently. And then here's the very long tail with a little mushroom on the end. Let's see if we can get him all in the frame. Wow. Wow. He is a big boy. I want to hold him like this. Like one of those guys who just caught a fish. I'm like, that's what I feel like with this guy. But he's so cute. My husband loves him, so I really hope he finds a home at the Fairy Festival. If not, later in the year, I think I'm going to be doing a Dungeons and Dragons event, so maybe he'll sell there. But that is all the mythical and whimsical makes I've made this week. Other than that, I've just been working on orders from my Etsy, so like my The Amazing Digital Circus. If you haven't seen that, those are the plushies I'm selling on my Etsy. And so I've been working on those orders besides all these little fairy magical things. If you have any good patterns that you think would be good for a fairy event, comment them down below and I will try them out. So, bye!